Привет and welcome to lesson 23 of the Russian language course with Dmitry Slomov. Today we shall talk a little bit more about ourselves and about our families. And we shall start with talking about children. You may be asked, do you have children? Children in Russian, дети. Like children arrive home in the daytime to have some tea. Day, tea. Дети. Do you have? By you, are there? У тебя есть? Or in polite form, у вас есть? So let's say Vasya asks John informally, John, у тебя есть дети? John has children, so he says, Да, у меня есть дети. Or, if he had no children, he would say something like, by me, there's no children. There's no, нет. Exactly like no, нет. There is no children. The word children changes and becomes детей, детей. So there's no children, нет детей, нет детей. Let's say John asks Vasya, Vasya, у тебя есть дети? And Vasya has no children. So he says, нет, у меня нет детей. Нет, у меня нет детей. Now, imagine John would want to ask, you and your wife, do you have children? In this case, he would say, у вас есть дети? У вас есть дети? And Vasya would reply, no, we have no children. Нет, у нас нет детей. Нет, у нас нет детей. If John were asking Vasya politely, then his question would still sound «У вас есть дети?» But in this case, Vasya would not know if John is talking to him only, Vasya, or he talks to Vasya and his wife. Then Vasya could reply both «У меня нет детей» and «У нас нет детей». Now, imagine Tanya has one child. A child, in Russian, ребенок. Ребенок. Like a child plays with ribs and makes knock, knock, knock with them. Ребенок. Tanya says, I have a husband and a child. У меня есть муж и ребенок. У меня есть муж и ребенок. Ребенок may be a son, in Russian, сын. Сын. Nearly like the English word for son. Сын. So, I have a son. У меня есть сын. У меня есть сын. And ребенок may also be a daughter. In Russian, дочка. Дочка. So, I have a daughter. У меня есть дочка. У меня есть дочка. I have a wife and children, a son and a daughter. У меня есть жена и дети. Сын и дочка. У меня есть жена и дети. Сын и дочка. Great. Now, the same way like we say, my husband's name is Петя, моего мужа зовут Петя. Or my friend's name is Вася. Моего друга зовут Вася. The words муж and друг get the ending «а». In similar way we say моего сына зовут, let's say, Витя. Витя is the short form of the name Victor. Моего сына зовут Витя. And what concerns the daughter, like we say, my wife's name is Люда, мою жену зовут Люда, or my girlfriend's name is Masha. Мою подругу зовут Маша. The words жена and подруга already have the ending «а», so it changes to «у». In a similar way, we say мою дочку зовут, let's say, Катя. Мою дочку зовут Катя. But of course you may say, I have a daughter. Her name is Katya. У меня есть дочка. Ее зовут Катя. Or about a son. I have a son. His name is Витя. У меня есть сын. Его зовут Витя. So, let's listen what some Russians may tell us about their families. Меня зовут Нина. У меня есть муж и ребенок. Меня зовут Иван. У меня есть подруга. Ее зовут Люба. Меня зовут Наташа. У меня есть муж. Его зовут Сергей. У нас нет детей. Меня зовут Олег. У меня есть жена и дети. Мою жену зовут Лида. Моего сына зовут Ваня. Мою дочку зовут Оксана. Very well done. Now let's talk a little bit about age. How old are our children? Or how old are we? In Russian, the question how old are you is asked like how many to you years? Or if you ask about someone else, how old is he? It becomes how many to him years. How many? Сколько? Сколько? To you, like giving something to you. Тебе. Тебе. Politely, to you, like to you many, sounds вам. Вам. Years, in this case, sounds лет. Лет. Like about a child, his age or his years already let him do something. Лет. So, people may ask you, сколько тебе лет? Сколько тебе лет? Or they may ask you about, for example, your daughter. How many to her years? To her, in Russian, ей. Ей. Сколько ей лет? Kim has a daughter. She says to her friend, у меня есть дочка. And her friend asks, сколько ей лет? And Kim replies, to her 10 years. Ей 10 лет. Ей 10 лет. Or it could be 5 years. Ей 5 лет. Now be careful. When the number of years is 2, 3, or 4, or it ends with these numbers like 22, 34, or so, you do not say лет. You say года. Года. So, she is 3 years old. Ей 3 года. She is 24 years old. Ей 24 года. And when we talk about 1, or 21, 31, and so on years of age, we say 1 год. 21 год. 31 год. 1 always goes with год. 1 год. And if we were talking about a guy or a boy, we would say to him so-and-so years. To him, ему. Ему. So he is 21 years old. Ему 21 год. He is 2 years old. Ему 2 года. He is 8 years old. Ему 8 лет. Let's summarize. 1. 1 год. 2. 2 года. 3. 3 года. 4. 4 года. 5. 5 лет. 6. 6 лет. 7. 7 лет. 8. 8 лет. 9. 9 лет. 10. 10 лет. 11. 11 лет. 12. 12 лет. 13. 13 лет. And so on. 20. 20 лет. 21. 21 год. 22. 22 года. 23. 23 года. And so on. Great. Now please do the drill number 1 as described in your transcript. Very well done. Now, one may also ask you about your age. Сколько тебе лет? Or politely, сколько вам лет? I know it may be not polite to ask the age of a person, but let's be ready to any situation. And you reply, to me, so-and-so years. To me, мне. Мне. For example, I'm 18. Мне 18 лет. I'm 31. Мне 31 год. Very good. Now, one more question people may readily ask you, especially when you chat in the internet. Where do you live? Where? Где? Где? Live, when it is actually you live. Живешь. Живешь. Где ты живешь? Где ты живешь? I live. Я живу. Я живу. I live in Moscow. The word in Russian, в. В. The word for Moscow, Москва, changes its a ending to location ending е. So, in Moscow, в Москве. В Москве. I live in Moscow. Я живу в Москве. Я живу в Москве. I live in St. Petersburg. Санкт-Петербург does not have ending a, so it directly gets the location ending е. Я живу в Санкт-Петербурге. Где ты живешь? Я живу в Санкт-Петербурге. In the next lesson, I'll provide more places in Russia and in other countries so that you may not only understand where your Russian friend lives, but also be able to tell where do you live. Now, you may be asked politely, like where do you, many, live? Or your friend may ask about your family, the same way, where do you, many, live? You, many, live? Живете. Живете. Вы живете. Где вы живете? Где вы живете? And you may reply for yourself, я живу в Москве. Or you may reply for you and your family, we live in Moscow. We live, живем. Живем. Мы живем. Мы живем в Москве. Где вы живете? Мы живем в Москве. Very well done. So this is enough for this time. See you in the next lesson. Пока.